everyone. So welcome to today's webinar. My name is Shivi and we are here to start with the same. So I'm absolutely delighted and excited to kick off our discussion on a topic that's incredibly valuable, 5 best hacks to crack IELTS. And joining us is Mahak Dhawan, a highly experienced and professional IELTS trainer, and who will be sharing a very valuable insights with us. So just a short idea on Mahak's profile. Mahak Dhawan, she's a certified IELTS trainer, author, English language coach, and yes, a Josh talk speaker as well. So she heads her own training institute by the name of IELTS Domination, and she has an extensive teaching experience for various English communication courses. She has 200K plus followers on her Instagram page as well. And when you talk about the results, her students have cracked 9 bands in the IELTS exam. So let's learn from her the secrets to advance this English speaking. So without further delay, I'll just request Mehak the one to take it further, because when we talk about English, it's a very, in today's world of proficiency in English is a paramount, and when it comes to IELTS, there are a lot of maze of myths and uncertainties. So let's start with the webinar and where we can learn about these top 5 strategies to ace this IELTS test.
Thank you, Shivi. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I am your coach, Mahak Dhawan. And today we're going to see that what are the basic 5 top strategies that you need to follow for your IELTS test. All right, let me share my screen with you. I hope you guys can see my screen. And if there are any doubts, you can write in the comment section. You can write in the chat box. I will surely answer it for you. Now, when we talk about IELTS test, so one thing that I have seen amongst most of my students is that they feel that IELTS is just about English, only about English. No, that's not the case. IELTS is about strategies also. So if you will be good with strategies, if you will be good with the conceptual part, only then you can crack the IELTS test. All right. So today I'll be telling you that what are the 5 basic strategies that you need to follow. What are the basic 5 steps that you need to follow for your upcoming IELTS test. Now, before moving further, I want to clarify one thing to you, that we have 2 skills, receptive skills and productive skills. See, when we talk about receptive skills basically means all about the strategy development part. Okay, so basically, if we will be good with strategies, only then we will be having good receptive skills. It means how we need to implement those strategies. And these skills are utilized in your listening module and in your reading module. Okay, whereas when we talk about the productive skills, as the name suggests, it means production, it means idea generation skills. So these will be utilized in your writing and speaking module. So in listening and reading, there are special strategies that you need to follow for each and every set of category. As in listening के अंदर map questions होते हैं, उसके लिए एक अलग strategy चलेगी. रीडिंग के अंदर MCQ क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, उसके अंदर एक अलग स्ट्रैटेजी चलेगी. For each and every different question category, there's a different set of strategy that you need to understand. All right. And when we talk about writing and speaking, it's all about idea generation. So keep this thing in your mind that if you'll be lacking in ideas, if you won't be having ideas, you won't be able to crack your writing and speaking module. Okay, you should be good with idea generation part if you need to have answers for your writing and speaking module. Now the question arises कि इतने ideas कहाँ से लाएं? बच्चों को ये दिक्कत बहुत आती है कि मैम हमारे पास ना ideas ही नहीं होते. Presentation दूसरी बात है, but ideas ही नहीं होते. When you talk about ideas, it's very important that you should read sample answers. अब रीडिंग ऑफ सैम्पल आंसर, बच्चों को बोलो ना कि रीडिंग करो, थोड़ा आंसर्स पढ़ो, तो वो क्या करते थे, गो टू योर दे फील कि हमें मूवीज वॉच करनी चाहिए, हमको न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ने चाहिए. Do you feel that that can help for your IELTS test? No, that really can't help you for the IELTS test. Because when we talk about sample answers, then for writing and speaking, it is very important. It is very important you should read answers which you need for your IELTS test. So please read sample answers which you are using for your IELTS test, as in for your IELTS essay answers, IELTS speaking cue card answers, IELTS speaking part 1 answers. It's very important. Okay, so please make sure that you are reading the correct content. If you won't be reading the correct content, again, it won't help you. Okay, so again, let me clear this thing for you that if you need a high band score for writing and speaking, it is very important that you should be very clear with the content. You should have ideas. Presentation की दूसरी बात है, presentation की दिक्कत आती है, I understand, but उसके लिए हम लोग हैं आपके पास, right? For that we can help you कि कौन सा format follow करना है. अभी format पे discuss करूंगी writing task 2 का, that we're going to do it. But again, बस beforehand I want you to understand कि आपका homework क्या है. पहले आप वो लो मुझसे कि आपको अपने आप से practice कैसे करनी है. That is that you should read some sample answers. But again, by sample answers, I really do not mean that you should read that particular newspapers, magazines, some movies देख लेते हैं, so that can help you. No, that can help you for your English part, but at least not for your IELTS speaking or writing part. For IELTS speaking and IELTS writing, you need to just go through the IELTS content part. Okay, so please refer ebooks. I have my own ebooks. You can refer that. You can refer any particular author's books, up to you, but at least you want to read. Okay, you have to read some content. Now again, it is very important to understand कि हमें content use कौन सा करना है. Okay, people lack over there. अगर हमारा content ही गलत होगा, so again it won't help you. It is very important that you should do the smart work. Smart work is that you should know that how you can use one particular sample answer in multiple questions. This is utilized in your speaking module. आप एक cue card prepare करो, and you should have this thing of this thing in your mind that how you can use that particular answer in multiple questions. For example, आपने cue card पढ़ा है जिसकी आपने practice करी, that tell about one expensive thing you purchased. ठीक है? Suppose that's a bag. आपने एक इसका आंसर प्रिपेयर करा है, ठीक है? क्वेश्चन आ गया, टेल अबाउट वन थिंग दैट यू वांट टू परचेज, और टेल वन थिंग दैट यू वांट टू परचेज इन फ्यूचर. अब आपको लगेगा कि मैंने इसका आंसर मैंने इसका आंसर अभी तक पढ़ा ही नहीं है. सो व्हाट यू कैन डू, जो आपने बैग वाला आंसर प्रिपेयर करा था, जो मैं परचेज कर चुका हूँ, या मे बी एक बैग जो मेरे पास है, आप उसको चेंज कर सकते हो कि ये चीज मुझे अभी खरीदनी है. आपका जो कंटेंट है, जो आइडियाज आपने सजेस्ट करे थे, जो आइडियाज आपने सोचे थे, जो आपने वोकैबुलरी चूज करी थी, वो एज इट इज रहेगी, वो सेम रहेगी, राइट? सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आपने स्मार्ट वर्क करना है. बट ये स्मार्ट वर्क आप जस्ट पेपर्स पे नहीं कर सकते. जब आप अपने मॉक सेशंस दे रहे हो, मेक श्योर कि आप मॉक सेशंस में भी ये चीज करो. नाउ अगेन, इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू शुड हैव गुड नंबर ऑफ मॉक सेशंस. अगर मॉक सेशंस ही नहीं दोगे तो कैसे हो जाएगा? Mock sessions will literally show you a true image that where you stand, where you need to improve, how you need to improve. काफी बच्चे मैंने ऐसे देखे हैं कि वो 2-2 महीने 3-3 महीने की प्रैक्टिस कर देते हैं, बट उन्होंने एक मॉक टेस्ट भी नहीं दिया होता. No, it is really not useful. Make sure that please you are practicing well, you're reading good content, and at the same time you're implementing it. सीधा पेपर पे जाके implement नहीं करना, पहले भी उसको implement करके चलना है. Okay, so number 1 strategy: A, you need to read good content. B, you need to give good number of mock sessions. Okay, so now when we talk about grammar portion, see, obviously मेरे पास टाइम कम है, तभी मैं सब कवर नहीं कर सकती, ठीक है? बट मैं वो प्रॉपर ट्राई करूंगी कि मैं वो चीजें कवर करूं. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, जिसके बिना आइल्स का हाई बैंड स्कोर आ ही नहीं सकता. ओके, नाउ coming to the grammar portion, अगर grammar portion की बात करें, so people think again कि English grammar is utilized in your IELTS test. Yes, of course, it is. It doesn't mean that if you will be making minor grammatical errors तो आपका 8 band आ जाएगा. That's not the case. Grammatical errors should not occur. Is, am, are वाली गलती नहीं होनी चाहिए. Has, have, had वाली गलती नहीं होनी चाहिए. But again, that's English conceptual part. Okay. When we talk about IELTS grammar, तो 2 ऐसे topics जो आप exclude हटा ही नहीं सकते अपने आंसर्स में, दैट इज कॉम्प्लेक्स सेंटेंसेस एंड कंपाउंड सेंटेंसेस. मैं इस पे बहुत फोकस डालती हूँ, अपने उस पे भी, अपने पेज पे भी, अपने क्लासेस में भी. इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू शुड गो थ्रू द कॉम्प्लेक्स एंड कंपाउंड सेंटेंसेस. इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. नाउ व्हाट आर कॉम्प्लेक्स सेंटेंसेस? इंग्लिश की बात अभी दूसरे से करूंगी, वर्ड्स की बात करती हूँ. इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू शुड यूज दीज वर्ड्स इन योर आंसर्स टू फॉर्म कॉम्प्लेक्स सेंटेंसेस. Okay, up. If you have pen and paper, you can note it down that out of these words, I'll make you write those words which you can very easily use in your answers, because the list of words continues. It's very good number of words. So I'll make you write those 8 to 9 words which you can very easily use in your answers. And those are although, as, because, if, once, since, whereas, whether, and while. Okay, so you have to use these words in your answers, but the compulsion is that you need to use a comma. कॉमा की दिक्कत दोबारा होती है कि कॉमा कहाँ पे डालना है. कॉमा हमेशा आएगा whenever the other part of the sentence is about to begin, just before that. Just before that. And conjunction can either come in the beginning or it can come in the middle. Okay. Now, the second question arises that how many sentences we should form for the complex sentence. Minimum 2, you're good to go. But again, more you form, better it is. But minimum 2, that's the basic requirement. Now, compound sentences. What are compound sentences? Again, for that English part, I won't be able to explain you because that is quite a big, long chapter. It takes good amount of hours to explain complex and compound in detail. But again, giving you that one major point that will help you to understand complex and compound sentences, that is that you have to use these words in your answers, but with the help of a comma. Now, एक क्वेश्चन और आता है कि मैम क्या होगा अगर हम ये वर्ड्स यूज कर दें और हम कॉमा यूज ना करें. If that will be the case, then what will happen? Sentence galat nahi hoga because वो simple sentence count hoga, but again, you won't get a good band score either. All right. So it is very important that you should use these words, but with the help of a comma. It is important. Now, compound sentences ke liye, these are the words which you can remember by this acronym FAN boys. F stands for, A stands for and, N stands for nor, B stands for but, O stands for or, Y stands for yet, and S stands for so. Again, this means that you have to use these words in your answers, but with the help of a comma. Again, comma use नहीं करोगे गलत हो जाएगा. मत बोलना कि अपने words use करें because बच्चे ऐसे करते हैं. Comma, that's compulsory. Now, again, out of these words, which are the words which you can use the most of the times because of the idea generation is in such a case, it will be and, it will be but, or, and so. So again, you have to use these words in your answers, but with the help of a comma. All right. Again, second question, that how many words you should use? Minimum 2, but again, the more you use, better it is. दोबारा बता देती हूँ. If you won't be using complex sentences and compound sentences in your answers, you won't be able to get a good band score. You won't be able to get a high band score. All right. Now, okay, so now I'll be discussing the format, the structure of your IELTS writing task 2 that you need to follow. Okay. I'll request to each and every one of you that if possible, then please write it down. It will really help you a lot. Please give me your this time and I will make sure that this turns out to be really fruitful for you. Okay, please. Always remember that when it comes to IELTS writing task number 2, that is your essay writing. Okay, you need to start it with introductory paragraph. Always. Okay. After that, it's your body paragraph 1. Then it's your body paragraph 2. And then at the end, it's your conclusion paragraph. Now I'll be telling you that what's a specific format for your introductory paragraph. Line number 1 will be your, मैंने बहुत बारी देखा है बच्चे क्या करते हैं, पैराफ्रेजिंग नहीं लिखते, they write any particular idea, ये topic statement लिख देते हैं. That is wrong. Line number 1 should always be your paraphrasing statement. Always. So you have to read the question, you have to rewrite into your own words, and that will be the line number 1. So line number 1 will be your paraphrasing statement. Line number 2. Line number 2 will be either your opinion statement or your general statement. So why I'm putting a hash over here? See, if the question is asking for your opinion, you will write your opinion, and in that case, you have to write your opinion statement. If the question is not asking for your opinion, you will not write your opinion statement. That will be really wrong. So if the question is asking for your opinion statement, you have to write your opinion statement. If the question is not asking for your opinion statement, you will replace your opinion statement with a general statement. यहाँ पे major deduction होती है, major deduction. ठीक है? Now, what is a general statement? Any idea, any example that can be a general statement. So basically, any statement other than opinion statement is known as a general statement. So agar question opinion nahi पूछ रहा है, you have to write a general statement over here. It can be extension of paraphrasing. It can be any example. It can be any idea. It can be anything. Line number 3. Thesis statement. Thesis statement means that what you're going to discuss in your essay. आप अपने essay में discuss क्या करने वाले हो, that you have to write in a thesis statement. It is a kind of your index statement which tells the examiner, which guides the examiner that this will be the content of my essay. Okay? Thesis statement बहुत लोग miss कर देते हैं, वहीं पे गलती हो जाती है. Thesis statement बहुत important है. Okay? Now again, let me give you one template जो बहुत controversial topic है, but still up to you. I'm just giving you the template. I'm just giving you a simple sample format that you can follow for your opinion statement and thesis statement. Opinion statement, in my opinion, comma, dash, dash, dash. Always try to start your opinion statement like this. It is very clear, and that's how your opinion statement should be. Coming to the thesis statement, this essay will discuss dash, 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 along with relevant examples and a logical conclusion. All right. So again, if you're going to see one thing, that over here I've used this essay. And over here I have used in my opinion, because this is a rule that you need to follow, that we can use personal pronouns or first person just in opinion statement, nowhere else. Not even in your examples. We cannot use it. However, your thesis statement, that should always be in third person. That's why I've written this essay will discuss and not I will discuss. So बच्चे thesis लिखते हैं ना, वैसे लिख देते हैं I will discuss dash dash dash. No, this essay will discuss dash dash dash. ठीक है, तो अब ultimately मैं सेमिनार में सब बता रही हूँ कि क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना. Okay, so please इसको differentiate कर लेना. Now, body para 1. Okay, I'm giving you all the insights कि ये important है, so that you have all the key tips that you need to follow. Okay. Now, coming to the body para 1, over here you need to write 3 valid reasons. Okay, 3 valid reasons. Now, understand that whatever I'm writing over here, that's the minimum criteria. If you want to write 4, you can write 4. If you want to write 5, you can write 5, up to you. But you cannot write 2. 3, that's the minimum criteria. Now, coming to the body para 2, over here you need to write 2 valid reasons plus 1 example. Now, writing example in body para 2, that's compulsory, that's mandatory. Okay. If you want to add in BP1, you can do that, completely optional. But body paragraph 2 के अंदर तो add करना ही करना है, that is mandatory. Now, conclusion paragraph, over here you will conclude, you will summarize your answer, but again, बहुत important pointer, it is very important that you should write your opinion statement here also. All right, you need to write your opinion statement here also. So again, remember that A, you will be writing your opinion only if the question is asking for it, and B, your opinion statement always come in a pair. A, it will come in introductory paragraph, and B, it will always come in conclusion paragraph also. It is compulsory. All right. Now, this is the sample format, the sample structure for your IELTS writing task number 2 that you can follow. Okay. Now, see, always try that you're summarizing your answer in 4 paragraphs. One should be intro, then 2 body paragraphs, and then 1 conclusion paragraph. I never suggest you write in 5 paragraphs until and unless demand of the question is in such a case. If the demand of the question is too many, then in that case we can form 3 body paragraphs. But अगर आपके पास option है कि आप अपने आंसर को 2 बॉडी पैराग्राफ्स के अंदर समराइज कर सकते हो, देन ऑलवेज गो फॉर इट। पता है क्या होता है, जब हम 3 बॉडी पैराग्राफ्स लिखते हैं ना, इट इज टाइम कंज्यूमिंग, इट इज रियली टाइम कंज्यूमिंग, इट इज आइडिया कंज्यूमिंग। बॉडी पैराग्राफ ऐड करना है तो आप 2 लाइनों का 3 लाइनों का नहीं कर सकते। जितने BP1 है उतना ही BP3 भी जाएगा, राइट? सो वो आइडियाज ज्यादा खाता है, वो टाइम ज्यादा खाता है, it is difficult to manage. So I always suggest that if possible, always write and form your 2 body paragraphs. Never go for 3 body paragraphs. But yes, अगर क्वेश्चन की डिमांड ऐसी रहती है कि आप कुछ कर ही नहीं सकते, you have to add. In that case, you can add 3 body paragraphs. But first thing, your goal, your agenda should be to at least form such a structure, such a format कि आपके इतने 2 बॉडी पैराग्राफ्स फॉर्म हो जाए ना। एक और चीज जो मैंने देखा है बच्चे गलती करते हैं कि ना, वो क्वेश्चन को पहले सही से नहीं पढ़ते। कि बहुत अभी जनरल लग रहा होगा, बट अगेन इफ आई जस्ट से ना, इट इज वेरी बेसिक कि यू शुड रीड द क्वेश्चन। इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू शुड गो थ्रू द क्वेश्चन। आप खुद सोचो, अगर आप क्वेश्चन ही नहीं पढ़ोगे, ठीक है, एंड आप सीधा ही अपने आंसर फॉर्म करने लग जाओगे, तो क्या होता है, देयर आर फ्यू माइनर कॉन्सेप्ट्स जो हम मिस आउट कर जाते हैं, जो हमें ध्यान ही नहीं रहता है। जैसे कभी कभार क्या टॉपिक होता है स्कूल गोइंग चिल्ड्रन का, ठीक है, एंड हम आंसर जब समराइज करते हैं तो हम आंसर लिख देते हैं मे बी कॉलेज गोइंग स्टूडेंट से रिलेटेड या मे बी कोई एडल्ट से रिलेटेड। सो अगेन दैट इज वेयर मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स मेक मिस्टेक, ठीक है। सो प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट यू आर रीडिंग द क्वेश्चन वेरी नाइसली बिफोर हैंड। जब हम स्ट्रक्चर करते हैं ना अपने टाइम लिमिट को, कि हमें कितना टाइम कहाँ पे देना है, आप ट्राई करो कि एटलीस्ट आप 2 to 3 minutes तो सिर्फ क्वेश्चन पढ़ने को दे रहे हो एंड नो वेयर एल्स। दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। Okay, so now I want to discuss few of your reading part. ठीक है, कि that what are the steps that you need to follow for your reading module, and then I'll be taking all your doubts because I can see that there are few doubts. I can see that again you guys are having doubts. Okay, fine. Just let me just take a reading part. मुझे कुछ एक और reading की 5-6 strategies tips discuss करनी है that I know आपके लिए बहुत useful होगा because बच्चों को उसके बारे में भी बहुत doubt आता है, and then again we're gonna continue with the doubt sessions. Okay. Okay. Step number 1. First of all, आप मुझे बताओ कि आप सबसे पहले क्या करते हो? Do you read the title first or do you read the question first? We always read the title first, then we read the questions, and then we come to the passage. ये sequence रहता है, ठीक है? So first thing, step number 1 is always to read the title. Step number 1 is to read the title. Step number 2, go through the questions. जो मैं भी आपको ना 6-7 steps बताऊंगी, ये मेरी गारंटी है कि अगर आप ये 6-7 steps follow कर लोगे, आपको दिक्कत नहीं आएगी। इन्हीं 6-7 स्टेप्स से आपका रीडिंग का 99% काम ऐसे ही हो जाएगा। जो 1% करेगा, तो जो आपको मैंने वो स्ट्रैटेजीज बताई थी ना स्टार्टिंग में कि हर कैटेगरी डिफरेंट चलती है, वो है, और वो प्रैक्टिस से ऑटोमेटिकली कवर हो जाती है। बट 99% तक का जो एक रोड मैप होता है वो आपका इन्हीं 7 स्टेप से कवर हो जाएगा, ये मेरा वर्ड। नाउ स्टेप नंबर 1, रीड द टाइटल। स्टेप नंबर 2, go through the questions. Step number 2, go through the questions. Step number 3, hunt the keywords in the questions. Now, what are keywords? Keywords होता क्या है? सब बोलते हैं keywords find करो, keywords question में ढूंढो। अरे keywords है क्या, ये तो बताओ। Adjectives, pronouns, articles इसमें पढ़ोगे कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे। मैं डायरेक्टली बताती हूँ। Name, place, animal, thing, or any important word that gives you hint for the answer. Name, place, animal, thing, or any important word that gives you hint for the answer. All right. अब give you the hint for the answer. ये क्या है? This means कोई भी ऐसा कोई बड़ा वर्ड दिखे ना क्वेश्चन के अंदर, उसको मार्क कर दो। कुछ मत करो, उसको मार्क करो ताकि वो दिमाग में रहेगा, वो सामने सामने दिखेगा। प्लीज डू दैट। अब मार्क करने का तरीका भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट, बहुत छोटी छोटी बातें मैं बता रही हूँ, बट अगेन ये छोटी बातें हैं बट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। मार्क करने का तरीका भी बहुत अलग होता है। किसी किसी वर्ड्स को अंडरलाइन करो, किसी किसी वर्ड्स को सर्कल करो, किसी पे स्माइली बना दो, किसी पे स्टार बना दो। अगर एक ही तरीके से मार्क करोगे, अगेन यू विल गेट कंफ्यूज। ऑब्वियसली हम हाईलाइटर्स लेके नहीं जा सकते, सो मेक श्योर कि आप डिफरेंट मोड्स यूज कर रहे हो। मोड्स एज इन अपने खुद के मोड्स बनाओ, सर्कल, स्टार, अंडरलाइन, एज यू विश। ठीक है। नाउ once we have keywords, जब हमारे पास keywords हो गए, now we're going to hunt the keywords in the passage. Hunt the keywords in the passage. All right. So now, how we can hunt the keywords? यहाँ पे we're going to use skimming and scanning. All right. So when I say hunt now, I literally mean hunt. You won't be reading word by word. You won't be reading line by line. You have to hunt. Okay. जहां पे भी word दिख गया ना, you will stop and you will come to the next step. जैसे जैसे रीडिंग में ना एक चीज ध्यान रखो कि आप जितना ज्यादा रीड करोगे ना, थॉरो रीडिंग, उतना कंफ्यूज हो जाओगे। ठीक है। कीवर्ड्स को पकड़ के करो, इट विल बी वेरी इजियर फॉर यू। वर्ड्स को पकड़ो, एंड वो वर्ड्स जो क्वेश्चन में गिवन है, पैसेज में गिवन नहीं है। Now, step number 5. Once you have keywords in the passage, now you're required to use three-line technique. Now, what's three-line technique? Jahan pe bhi you have found your keyword, 3 lines above the keyword, 3 lines below the keyword, you will find your answer. ये मेरा word है again. उन 6 lines में 7th line पे भी नहीं जाएगा आंसर, उन्हीं 6 lines में आपको आपका आंसर मिलेगा। ठीक है। दिस इज 3-line टेक्निक। कीवर्ड के 3 लाइन ऊपर, 3 लाइन नीचे, यू विल फाइंड योर आंसर। स्टेप नंबर 6, let me highlight it and I hope that you guys are forming your notes. अगेन जहां से भी आप प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो, जैसे भी प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो, मेक श्योर कि अपने नोट्स खुद बनाओ। आई नो कि हर ट्रेनर अपने नोट्स देते हैं आपको, मैं भी अपने बच्चों को देती हूँ, बट अगेन जितने नोट्स आप अपने खुद बनाओगे ना क्लास की ड्यूरेशन में, उतना बेनिफिशियल होगा, उतना आपके लिए ईजी होगा थिंग्स को ग्रास्प करना, थिंग्स को अंडरस्टैंड करना, कॉन्सेप्ट्स को समझना। सो प्लीज अपने नोट्स खुद बनाने की आदत डालो, इट विल बी यूजफुल। नाउ स्टेप नंबर 5, 3-line टेक्निक। ठीक है। कीवर्ड के 3 लाइन ऊपर, 3 लाइन नीचे, यू विल फाइंड योर आंसर। स्टेप नंबर 6, लिंक एंड लोकेट। जो क्वेश्चन है, एक बार क्वेश्चन को दोबारा रीड कर लो, ताकि यूजुअली ये चीज हम बोलते हैं ट्रू फॉल्स नॉट गिवन के लिए। जब कुछ एक ऐसे वर्ड्स होते हैं, स्मॉल स्मॉल वर्ड्स जैसे नॉट, बट, इफ, एंड, जो इतने छोटे छोटे वर्ड होते हैं जिनको हम ट्रांजिशनिंग वर्ड्स कहते हैं। अगेन द लिस्ट कंटिन्यूस, बट दीज आर ट्रांजिशनिंग वर्ड्स। ट्रांजिशनिंग वर्ड्स क्या करते हैं, इंटायर क्वेश्चन का आंसर का मीनिंग ही पलट के रख देंगे, सिर्फ एक छोटे से बट से या इफ से या एंड से। बट अगेन वो कितने छोटे होते हैं कि वो कैच करने डिफिकल्ट हो जाते हैं, बट इनको हम ट्रांजिशनिंग वर्ड्स कहते हैं। इन ऐसे वर्ड्स के लिए वी हैव टू यूज दिस लिंक एंड लोकेट। हम क्वेश्चन को दोबारा एक बार लिंक करेंगे, विल वेरीफाई इट एंड देन वी गोना लोकेट द आंसर। ओके। स्टेप नंबर 7 इज एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक। Elimination technique, again, mark it as star category. This category is very important, but again, ये हर question के अंदर use नहीं होगी. It will be only be used in those questions where options are provided to you. जहाँ पे आपको options given होते हैं, जैसे MCQs, जैसे match the heading, जैसे match the content। मतलब वो सारी categories जहाँ पे हमें दिक्कत आती है, और जो हमें पता है कि वो आएंगे ही आएंगे। हमें पता है मैच द हेडिंग्स आएंगे ही आएंगे पेपर में, चाहे इजी आए चाहे टफ आए। हमें पता है एमसीक्यूज आएंगे ही आएंगे, चाहे पेपर में चाहे इजी आए चाहे टफ आए, वो आएंगे ही आएंगे। वहां पे वी हैव टू यूज एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक। अगर वहां पे एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक यूज नहीं करोगे, यू वोंट बी एबल टू क्रैक इट। आई एम टेलिंग यू, एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक के बिना नहीं हो सकता। इट विल टेक लॉट ऑफ टाइम, बाकी क्वेश्चन रह जाएंगे या वो आंसर मिलेगा ही नहीं। ठीक है। नाउ व्हाट इज एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक? एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक मतलब कि आपका जो फोकस रहेगा ना, आपका फोकस रहेगा गलत ऑप्शंस पे। मतलब आप गलत 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 मार्क कर दोगे, एंड अल्टीमेटली यू विल बी लेफ्ट विद द रॉन्ग आंसर, सॉरी, अल्टीमेटली यू विल बी लेफ्ट विद जस्ट द राइट आंसर। सो विच यू फील कि ये तो डेफिनेटली आंसर नहीं है, जो पता ही चल रहा है कि आंसर नहीं है मैच करने से, आप उनको क्रॉस आउट कर दोगे, और अल्टीमेटली सिर्फ एक ऑप्शन बचेगा। अगर बचते भी तो 2 ऑप्शन बच जाएंगे, सो इट विल बी कट शॉर्ट, राइट। वो एक कट शॉर्ट हो जाएगा, क्या सिर्फ आपने 2 ऑप्शन से मैच करके देखना है। दैट इज एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक। All right. Now, yes, let's come to the doubt sessions. बाकी जो concepts हैं, बाकी जो topic है, we're gonna cover it through the doubt session. So, yes. So, Rakhi, I guess, are you here? Can you hear me? Hi, Rakhi, can you hear me? Okay, let's start with the doubt session. So, Supreet Saluja, can I write general statement before paraphrasing? See, when it comes to this is completely optional. If you want to write general statement before paraphrasing, you can do that. Up to you. It is not okay, your bank score will be deducted. If you want, you can do that. But again, remember कि three lines are compulsory. Paraphrasing, opinion or general, and then thesis. ये तीन lines आनी compulsory है ही है. If you want to add any other statement, it is completely up to you. But you have to add these three statements. That is mandatory. Okay. So if you want to add before paraphrasing, you can do that. You can follow me on Instagram. I am available by the name of IELTS Domination Mahak Dhawan. So if there are any doubts, please let me know. You can write in the comment section.
Hi, Mahak. Very good
Hi,
evening.
Kathy. Good evening. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for the very extensive, it almost felt like a coaching class on IELTS.
Thank
Uh,
you.
but it was incredibly informative. And, I just happened to join towards the very end, but I could see that you were trying to coach them with the usage of examples. So that's incredibly helpful. I do see that we have a great audience today, more than 90 plus people, which is a very sizable number. And I'm sure that all of you have been listening very intently to Mehek. And I consider that all of you are intent on going abroad. So you would have several questions around this very integral part of your entire admissions process, which is the EPT. So while Mehek is here, while she's an expert, while she's here, please feel free to ask all the questions, and I will take up the questions that's already come in the Q&A box. But for those of you who want to ask more questions, use that Q&A box and use the next half an hour to, ask Mehak all the questions that you have. So I'll take up one question, Mehak, for you. And that is that, okay, so I'll take a question which is from a learner whose exam is apparently due this Saturday, and they are facing a difficulty in reading. So do you have any tips for that?
See, your exam is quite near, that is on Saturday. So the last moment tip that I would like to give you for the reading module, make sure that during this duration, you're practicing just through mocks. It is very important that just practice through mocks. You are managing your time really well. Okay, so make sure that if the time duration is 60 minutes for one particular mock, try to summarize that in or around 50 minutes. Okay, you should have this much of bare time, you should have this much of spare time to just go through and revise your particular questions and answers. Okay, so at the end moment, I just like to tell you, guide you that make sure that you're practicing through mocks and you're clear with all the strategies. Okay, and also just make sure that you're utilizing your elimination technique, you're using your elimination technique, because without elimination technique you cannot do MCQs, you cannot do match the headings, you cannot do match the content, and हमें पता है that that will definitely come your answer. Okay, so be prepared with that.
Okay, thank you so much, Mehak. And then going forward to the next question. So I believe that this learner would be preparing for their GMAT, and the question is, does your GMAT preparation also help you in preparing for IELTS? And if they are targeting 8 band score, then how long would it ideally take them to reach this goal?
See, I always say that if you're appearing for any competitive test, again, it will help you in any other matter. It will do. Okay. But at the same time, when we talk about the time duration that you need to cover for your IELTS exam, minimum 14 days. We have a course for capsule training that we call crash course. Even that is for 14 days. Minimum 14 days, that's a basic requirement. But when we say 14 days, it means rigorous sessions, rigorous practice, rigorous training. Okay, 14 days, that's the minimum requirement. Usually a candidate can prepare for the IELTS test for around 30 days, very easily.
Okay, that sounds promising. And I believe that you've been speaking at length about elimination. Uh, so there's one question from the learner. Can you elaborate more on it? So I think they want to know that how can they master that whole technique of elimination to achieve a certain score?
See, when we talk about elimination technique, this is basically, this technique works vice versa. Okay, because बाकी categories में focus on the right option, and over here we focus on the wrong options. So you should have that focus on the wrong options ultimately, as in which you feel that this is definitely not the answer. Then how you can get it by skimming and scanning. If you will be going through the question categories again and again, if you're going to go through the questions again and again, you can easily mark that, okay, this is definitely not the answer. Okay, you should mark that first, and then ultimately you will be left with just the correct one. I understand that this might sound a bit confusing, but please try this technique at least once. Try this in any of the category if you want, either in the match the headings, either in the true or your MCQ questions. Try this, because once you're going to try it, this will sound meaningful. You will see that, okay, there's a major difference. But when you talk about elimination, it focuses on cutting out the options, and for that you have to read the passage also. But when we say about reading the passage, you need to read just the keywords. Your focus will be on just the keywords, not on the entire passage. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mahak. And I believe that there are questions coming in. So one of the questions is with respect to what are the steps to follow for getting more fluent in speaking? And then I think I would just combine this with another question, and that says that why is section 3 of the speaking section very hard than the rest of it?
See, when we come that how we can, okay, sorry, what the first question was? What was the first question?
The first question is, how do you get more fluent in the speaking section? And
Okay.
why is the third section in the speaking section more hard? And I think a lot of learners have anyway asked, please give me some more details about the speaking section, like how to master it.
Okay. See, when we talk about being fluent in English, it is very important that you should speak more. But again, you can only speak more if you have ideas, if you know what to speak. If you won't be knowing that what you need to speak, how you can speak. So first thing is to understand that yes, what you need to speak. When I just stick it to particular to IELTS test, you need to speak the answer. You need to speak. You need to present your ideas. You need to explain what your experience is in the particular cue card given, right? So for that, you need to read some sample answers. Now let's come to how you can practice those. You need a trainer. Okay, without a trainer, speaking module is difficult because you need someone to practice with whom you can practice, with whom you can communicate. Okay. Other than that, you can even do the mirror practice. Even that is very useful. I do recommend the same practice to more of my students that do the mirror practice. Now, what is mirror practice? It means that you're going to stand in front of the mirror, all right, and then you need to start speaking. Okay, we need to start speaking on particular cue card given. We have mock sessions, we have particular practice tests जो हम बच्चों को देते हैं, where there are part 1 questions, part 2 questions, part 3 questions. I have uploaded few on my Instagram also. I do upload that. That is very important. You can just keep that particular sheet in front of you and start speaking. Okay, there are questions are listed on that particular sheet, and start speaking. Other than that, record yourself, either video record or audio record. Just record it and listen to it. You will understand that where you're lacking. Either you're making your fluency mistakes, okay, either you're making your major big pauses, either your words are getting mixed, or your lack of ideas. So it's completely depends. But again, it is very important that A, you should read content, and B, you should practice it. You can practice it either with a trainer, okay, so that you can communicate, or you can do a mirror practice. Mirror practice is it's very useful. And again, if you want, you can record yourself, even that is beneficial. Now, when we come to speaking part 3, where counter question takes place, this where most of the students get fumbled. Part 3, where counter question takes place, where your examiner will participate, where examiner will counter question you. See, when we speak on the QCAR topic now, we are not, I wouldn't say that we are not in that 100% of our senses. We are not, to be very honest, because we need to speak, we need to see the examiner also. They're already making faces. So it becomes difficult, right? I do understand. But in part number 3, most of your cross questioning or most of your counter questioning is related to whatever you have spoken in part number 2. It is mostly related to that. Okay. Now, in part number 3, make sure that you're confident enough. Confidence is the key, and you're elaborating as much as possible. See, you need to have this thing in your mind that examiner will make faces, examiner will be rude to you, examiner will counter question you a lot, examiner will say why. But again, it's their way of taking the exam. They want to test you. They want to put you in difficult situations, and that's why they are doing it. It is not purposeful. It is purposefully, actually, and it is not because they want to make you fail or something. No, they want to put you in difficult situations, and that's why they are doing it, and you have to be ready for it. But again, as I said previously also, that mock sessions are very important. Agar aap socho ki just at the end moment or maybe during your examination you will face all this and you will be all normal and all natural, no, it is normal human behavior. You will not. So you need to go through this particular roadmap beforehand while you're appearing for your main test. Yes, please.
Great. Thanks, Mahak. I think that puts a lot of things in perspective.
Thank you.
And I believe that, from whatever you've mentioned right now, that the speaking part is indeed a tough one to crack. And, there was a question which came up that because you said that have these thoughts in your mind. So beforehand, how do you frame these thoughts? But along with that, I want to ask you a second question is that when you mentioned about practicing, you practiced, in front of a mirror or in front of a trainer. So do you have, let's say, like a schedule that people should follow ideally if they are targeting to get a score in, let's say, 2 months? How should their everyday study structure be like?
See, if I talk about speaking module, it's very important that you should spare at least 30 minutes for your speaking on the daily basis. Do that. And ultimately, honestly, within a week, you will see a major difference. Okay. Now the 30 minutes up to you. If you want to do the speaking practice, you can do this, because even speaking involves reading. As in, for speaking also, you need to read some sample answers first. Okay. So it's up to you that for one day you read the sample answer so that you have the ideas. The other day you do the speaking practice. Okay. One day you pick just part 1, one day you pick just part 2, one day you pick just part 3. Do the individual practice, 30 minutes a day. First do that. And within a week, you will see that, okay, I'm done with the individual parts, and then combine them together and do the full-fledged mock. After a week or 10 days, just start with the full-fledged mock. Okay. But again, at least 30 minutes a day for speaking, it's enough. It's good.
All right. And Mehak, then if there's somebody who is, let's say, I assume that everyone who's going to be appearing for IELTS obviously has a basic level of proficiency. With that in mind, is it possible to prepare and crack the IELTS in 2 weeks?
Yes, it is. Because see, as I said, people think that IELTS is mainly about English. No, it's also about strategies. Okay, so if we are good with strategies, if we know the strategies, we can easily do that. But again, at the same time, I always recommend that 14 days mean rigorous sessions, means rigorous practice sessions from me also, from your side also, from both the sides, not from just one side. But again, it's easier to crack. But again, make sure that you are throughout you're practicing well. That is important.
That is important. Absolutely. And there's one question from a learner. They seem to have scored 6 in their mock test, and now they are aiming to increase it to 7.5 or 8, and especially in their writing and speaking. So what are your tips?
Okay, so when we talk about writing module, if you're scoring 6, there can be 2 options. Okay? Either in the first one, you are not following the correct format, you're not following the correct strategy. That can be one thing. Okay. Second thing, maybe if you're following the correct strategy, your vocabulary is too simple. So you need to understand कि आप कहाँ पे lag कर रहे हो. Either you're following the wrong format and your vocabulary is good, or the vice versa, that your vocabulary is not good, but you're following the correct format. In that case, you can get 6. Okay. Now, when we come to speaking module, if you're getting 6, again, maybe you're using too basic vocabulary. To get a high band score, you need to use advanced vocabulary. But now with advanced vocabulary, do not mean those big words. No, one idiom, you're good to go. Okay, one phrase, you're good to go. One good word, you're good to go. By good word, I literally mean your complex compound linking words that will work. And majorly do not focus on just those big words. For example, hodophile, we use that most of the times. Okay, so you can use these certain words which will help you to crack your IELTS test.
Okay, thank you, Mehak. Thank you. That's very helpful. And I can see that the questions are just going on coming up. I was wondering if there's any way that they can reach out to you after this webinar gets concluded.
Yes, they can follow me on Instagram. They can DM me over there. I can help you out. And I am by the name of Mahak Dhawan IELTS Domination. My ID is learn_IELTS_Mahak. So they can follow me there. They can DM me there. I am really active on my Instagram platform. I usually post there 3 times a day. And I give good content over there. I share sample answers. So ye tips humne abhi kari, I do share there also. So if there is any doubt, if they want to contact me, they can contact me over there.
Okay, great. Mehak, it would be very helpful if you just put it on the chat box
Yes,
here
definitely.
for all of them to, I believe that this is going to, I've just changed the setting for everyone and, you know, they could pick it up from there.
I can also share my number. If they have any doubt, they can contact me there also.
Okay.
I guess I need to this. I need to change the settings, right? Because the DMs are shared just with the panelist.
Let me just share it with everybody.
Yes. Please.
I've shared it with everyone.
Hmm.
So I think that the first one is your handle and
Okay. Instagram handle.
great, great. So everyone, you can pick it up from there and you can follow Mehak and also, you know, get some helpful tips from her social media channels. I will take the next couple of minutes to ask a couple more questions, Mehak. And I believe that they are more or less similar, but learners here are talking and drawing from their own experience. So one of the questions which I'd like to take up, which I think it's really common, that how can I improve my spelling errors?
See, spelling errors again, it comes into the evaluation sections. I always say that make sure that you're getting your answers evaluated for both writing and speaking. It's very important. Students, they practice. I literally have seen students practicing hundreds of questions every day, but they're not getting at least even one answer evaluated. A, you need to get the feedback. It's very important. And B, you need to work on the feedback. If you won't work on the feedback, that won't help you. And when it comes to spelling errors, that's a part of your feedback section. Okay, for example, अगर मैं कल की बात बताऊं, so we were practicing, मैं speaking mock ले रही थी, and I asked the cue card, and cue card was related to talk about your favorite jewelry item. So I said jewelry because the pronunciation sounds jewelry. The student said jewelry. Jewelry, that's wrong. But again, I rectified, I gave my feedback, and she knew, okay, this is the jewelry. That's how the feedback mechanism work when we talk about IELTS, because we're going to practice multiple of questions. We're going to have mock sessions. We're going to evaluate our answers. You will be writing questions. So evaluations, working on the feedback, getting the feedback, that's super important.
Understand. And Mehak, since we're speaking of you know, IELTS and all of the English proficiency, so is preparation for IELTS sufficient for you to crack any other English proficiency? Should they want to give, let's say, PTE or Duolingo, or it's not?
No, because see, it can help you. I won't say that it will be useless. No, it won't be the case. But when we talk about IELTS, it's separate. It's strategy based. When we talk about PTE, again, there are different concepts. There are different strategies. So it's different. But again, it's all about, see, the major thing is English, and then these are the subcategories. But since these are the subcategories, there's a minor differences also that we need to work individually.
Minor differences. All right. And in that respect, if I were to compare and contrast all of these English proficiency tests, would you say that IELTS is the easiest or the toughest to crack? And why would any learner give preference to IELTS over any of these other examinations?
See, I wouldn't say that IELTS is the most easiest. I won't say that IELTS is the most difficult. It
Yeah.
depends how you are dealing it with.
Hmm.
But again, at the same time, I'll say that IELTS is a combination of English and strategies. It's not just English, it is not just strategies that makes it, or I'll say that it just give it a little bit more edge. Okay. So it's a mix of both. So it becomes easier for the learner also and for the trainer also to make it more understandable.
Okay, okay. And from the visa perspective, because I know that IELTS is the most commonly accepted EPT for visa, would you, as a trainer, from your years of experience, say that yes, it's the best to take this one singular route, IELTS for...
Definitely. Yes, that's a really a big yes. Also because IELTS, it has been ruling years, right? So it is important that you should follow one path. Do not juggle, because I've seen people, what they do is they give 2 attempts for IELTS, then they give 2 attempts for PT, then they give, they just switch.
They
And when
switch.
you switch, not only you, but again, your mind, your concepts, everything gets fumbled. So have clarity that which path you want to follow, and please stick towards it. Stick to it.
Stick to that. Okay, all right. Thank you, Mehak. And as I'll take a final question from someone here, and their question is with respect to essay topics. So, what kind of essay topics can we expect, and is there any advanced preparation for topics needed? Like, how do we prepare in advance for it?
See, again, prediction questions, I won't say that you will have to rely only on that, but again, go through that also. If nothing, it will help you with ideas. If nothing, it will help you with important questions, the important topics that you should cover. Okay. When we talk about the current important topics, the 2 important categories, A, the outweigh category, and B, what are the causes and effects of it. These 2 categories are the most important categories for upcoming months.
Okay, all right. So then that's the way that they work towards this. Okay. All right. So I think that's about it for our discussion today. This great engagement, and I'm sure that your session has been so very helpful. And I do see that most of the questions have also been answered. But before we close, I would like you to share some final tips for our learners.
See, when we talk about IELTS, mock sessions. Please do not ignore mock sessions. I know I've said this number of times, but again, at the final call, mock sessions, these are very important. All right. And B, when it comes to your speaking module, make sure that you're stating examples. State at least one example and you will see a major difference in your score. Okay. So please use at least one example. And C, make sure that you're using good vocabulary. By good vocabulary, it means complex, compound, and linking words. So whenever I say good vocabulary, please do not understand or feel that I'm saying those big words. With good vocabulary, I mean complex, compound, linking words. That's
Great.
okay.
Yes, thank you so much, Mehak. It was lovely having you for the webinar. And we will look forward to hosting you again very soon on our platform.
Thank
Yes.
you. Same here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Good luck and all the best.
Good luck. Thank you. Yeah.